Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play cast brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, aka magicman, and this is episode 338. We're recording on May 1st. You're watching it on May 1st or later. We've got some rapid-fire news, including some kind of funny stuff. Kind of a what-the-hell moment going on with a company we've all heard of, even if we don't play their games. And, yeah, we're going to take a deeper look at Valorant now that the first look is up and give some of our opinions on that. Joining me, as always, to go through all of it, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
So the chicken noodle soup turned out just kind of okay.
I know the stream was dying to know. Did
Yeah.
you derp up your chicken noodle soup?
I did not derp up the chicken noodle soup, but it was just average.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta actually make my own stock. I've been convinced that that's the way.
Also,
Kind of
also on the line,
smug half smile to my left here.
chicken soup connoisseur, Q. What's up, Q?
Always make your own stock. That's the way to go. I'm actually having a really good day. Woke up this morning. There was new Good Omens content. I had packages that were supposed to come in tomorrow that are arriving today. Everything is really nice today.
And are you getting a package from Samsung?
No. Those
Did
assholes.
I just open a can of worms? Sorry about that.
So I got a hold of them, and they're like, hey, the final guy was like, oh, I could do the refund for you. Here's the refund. Here's your ticket number. Put the ticket number on the box 3 times. Send it back to us, and it'll be handled from there. So we go and ship it Saturday. Monday, we get a Monday or Tuesday, I get a text because these bastards want to text instead of emailing me going, here's this PDF form that you need to fill out, and you need to have a picture of the serial number on the back of the monitor and send that to us before we can do anything. And I'm like, the monitor's already gone. Like, what the So
Jeez.
We looked, it arrived there the same day they sent me the text message. I tried to call them and ended up just sitting on hold for hours.
Oh. Well,
So-
good luck with the Samsung saga.
The upside is I got my government money for the Corona thing, so I just went ahead and bought get a new fucking monitor.
Oh, I'm out.
Done.
For once, the first rant of the week didn't come from me. It's nice.
All right, so whatever is going on with Discord, looks like there's a little audio delay. So just minimize us and listen to us if lips
just
being,
minimize us. Yeah.
If lips being a little bit, if lips being a little out of sync for 2 of the hosts here is a problem for you, just minimize the screen. Because there's nothing I can do about Discord lag. so
It's not moving at all. What do I do now?
just do this. We'll just talk like this the entire show.
Everybody put on the mask.
Put on your masks. Yeah, put on your
there
masks.
you go.
All right, let's slide over and get started with the news. All right, we're going to start off with a little bit of rapid-fire news. So first off, we've got some Fortnite maybe news. You know how data mining and rumors go, and that's definitely the case here. So take everything right here with a grain of salt, but, probably fairly accurate. It's kind of hard to screw up, data mining when you're looking at it. It's just a question of will they actually implement some of the things, or are they just left over in the code? And I don't think that's the case here. I think we're actually going to get the Fortnite Party Royale map. And that is for what, Q? People that have too much BR in their BR? They don't want Battle Royale in their Battle Royale? What's going on with this?
I guess that's what it is. I mean, maybe sometimes you just need to go chill. I don't know, but it's basically like it's a party battle. It's like a whole bunch of smaller things that you can do, like races and soccer games. And I mean, since it's Fortnite and you jump out of things, parachuting, just general stuff like that you can do for funsies.
Hey, I'm not going to begrudge any company like trying to expand the offerings of their product, Jason, to appeal to retain their audience, to appeal to a new audience and bring them. But this just seems like you still have Save the World, right? Like you still have that.
Do they really?
And it still isn't
mean,
free to play yet. You have a big chunk of content that would appeal to a totally different audience than Fortnite Battle Royale does, and yet it still languishes away behind an unnecessary paywall.
I mean, I get having a social space, a free-to-play social space. At some point, though, they just need to embrace it and go like full Roblox or something. I mean, they do have Fortnite Creative, I guess, which is a thing, but yeah, they just need to accept that that's what they are right now.
We haven't heard much from Fortnite Creative lately.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, sure, I guess it'll be fun, but I just, Q, I see it more as like a break, like you said. Okay, I've had 2-3 bad rounds. Let me go skydive for 15 minutes, cool my head, and then jump into another battle. I don't see like, oh shit, I've never played Fortnite, but now they have skydiving. Yeah, let's. Now they have a party island. I'm downloading that. I think the more bang for the buck would save the world free. Then
I mean, maybe the Roblox comparison isn't bad, because maybe now, if little Tommy's mom won't let him get into Fortnite, it's all shooter stuff. Now he says, "Hey, look, Mom, we just have this stuff to do instead." Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and log in.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
So again, it's rumor, data mining, and credit, by the way, where due. That was reported by who?
Comicbook.com.
Yeah, I had to go back into the piece. Comicbook.com did the reporting, and it's coming from a Fort Troy Fortnite Leaks and News Twitter account. They've been right on some things in the past, too. So, again, grain of salt it, because it's a rumor, but it's probably pretty damn close to what's actually going to happen in Fortnite. Moving on, a game we're going to talk about a little more in-depth later, but I wanted to bring this up, Jason, because we have been following Riot's saga with Vanguard and its anti-cheat program, and a kind of lackluster progression system in the game initially. And these are both things that Riot, to their credit, could just kind of be mum about and not say anything. But they are speaking about this, both Vanguard and the progression system. And then after that, we recorded the first look. We got new details about their ranked system coming up too. So that wasn't able to be featured in the first look. It wasn't there yet. Jason did in the video, though, mention they've said that's coming. We got some more details and put that up too. I think the big one we need to hit first, though, Jason, is Vanguard. You will now, there are plans to make Vanguard be able to be disabled, which I think alleviates a little bit of a concern to some people having it running on boot up. But that comes with a kind of an inconvenience when you actually want to play Valorant.
Yeah, because it has to be enabled in order to play Valorant, which will require you to, if you have it disabled, you'll have to restart your computer. I assume turn whatever setting that says enable Vanguard. You have to do that and then restart your computer in order to play Valorant. So for someone who would be more like me, who play Valorant like once or twice a week, I would see doing it that way. But if you're an everyday, 3-4 hours a day player, you might as well just as well leave it on, in which case you're not gaining anything, which is, it's the more so probably the hardcore players who want to play every day that are a little edgy about the system in general, but they're the ones who are going to be least affected by this option. So it's sort of nice, but I don't know what else they could do to make it better.
Yeah, that's kind of an inconvenience. It's almost like, hey, do you want to be inconvenienced, or can we just watch your shit? I mean, and granted, I mean they're not watching like, I'm being facetious.
Depends on
there.
where you have your webcam set up.
I'm being facetious there. They've already, making a joke, not implying that they're doing anything facetious. But yeah, it's like, yeah, well, you know what? I mean, we could just like be in your computer, and that's fine. Or I guess you could kick us out and when you want to play our game, restart. So, yeah, it's like that inconvenience me into doing it. That seems a bit weird, Q.
I'm just wondering where the accent suddenly came from.
Stop busting my chops. Busting my chops. That was Evil Riot guy. That was,
Evil.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes, just let me in your computer. That's Evil Riot Games guy.
That's a Runeterran accent.
Yes. Excellent. So, yeah, I guess it's something if you were really up in arms about Vanguard, but it's still probably not what you were looking for. You're probably looking for, hey, let me disable this when I'm not playing Valorant. And this does that. But then to actually kick Valorant off, you're going to have to do a full restart because Vanguard needs to touch kernel files. So, bit weird. Progression is going to be getting a change, Jason, and this is something, and let's not go too far into it because you did mention it in your first look, so I'm sure we'll hit it again later in the show. But that is something that is lacking in the game right now. I mean, there's a few different gain some things as you do some things, but other than that, there really is no feeling of I'm progressing or working towards any real goals right now.
I mean, that's understandable and acceptable for a beta. You're not going to have the full system. Look at other games that have been around for 5-10 years or whatever and have 18 different progression tracks or whatever. So it makes sense that they're more focused on the gameplay itself rather than cash. Imagine that. Imagine a beta where they're more interested in the gameplay than the cash shop. Wow. Who would have thought that?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's not that bad, but obviously, people are, looking at this as, a pretty well polished game, which is, close to launch. So they want to see it in as final a form as possible. To that end, their progression system guy, what's he called? What is his job is revenue lead.
This is different from evil Riot guy.
Yeah, this is different. Well, this is a different kind of evil, revenue lead. But yeah, so he says that they're going to increase XP gains for various tracks that, like I said, we'll get into later. And they do have plans to increase the selection of weapon skins that you'll buy in the shop, including things that will be, including the really wacky kind of skins. He says, others who want a gun skin that has all the bells and whistles, custom reload animations, geometry changes, alternate universes. Apparently you can shoot someone right into an alternate universe. That's going to be one of the...
It just reminds me of, like, our mothers when we were younger, threatening to slap us into next week.
This gun will actually shoot you into the next match.
Just shoots you into... Yeah, you're now 4 rounds ahead of everybody. That's how hard.
Although the way my first look went, it actually kind of went that way with people coming and going, but...
All right, we'll get more into Valorant. We just wanted to get those two little pieces there. Progression we'll talk a little bit more about, but Vanguard, yeah, compromise? Does it work for you? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. All right, here's news that's sure to piss off Secret World Legends fans, because as soon as I read it, I was like, really? Really? What? I sent it to Q, and the first thing Q replies, I say, hey, Q, can you write this up, please? Funcom, whatever. And she says, you sent that to me just to piss me off, didn't you? Like,
he does that all the time. Like, he sends me golf game stuff, and he knows why.
And I'm like, but Q, on this one I was pissed too, so don't worry about it. But yeah, so Funcom has made a really big update for an older game. No Secret World Legends fans. It wasn't for you. It was for Age of Conan, Q.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I've never been a Conan fan anyway, so I've consistently ignored all their Conan offerings in favor of the Secret World. But they're dropping. I didn't realize that the game is 12 years old, which every time they start aging games, it just makes me feel really, really freaking old. It's based on the 1933 short story Black Colossus. It introduces a new enemy who's awakened from sleep, which, fantasy kind of stuff that
totally
tends
new.
to be the way.
I have never heard that before. That is...
Hey, maybe in 1933 it might have been new.
Fair enough.
You go and... you fight the new enemy and his army of whatever, and
in a whole new area.
There you go. In a whole new area, yeah. There's a new area to go along with it. But yeah, it's pretty much, I think what you would expect from a big update to a fantasy game. So
yeah, and please, I'm not begrudging Age of Conan fans, all 8 of you, anything. New Conan. Like, I have no idea. I'm joking. I don't know what the numbers are on Age of Conan. I can't imagine the audience is very big as far as, being endgame and stuff like that.
Let's go to Steam charts.
Jason, gonna go look.
Of course.
They have been averaging less than 100 players online at once on Steam over the past, 2 years.
Yeah, to be fair, though,
what's
that's...
Secret World been averaging?
Compared to...
Oh, here we go. Secret World Legends.
Average about 200, and that's just on Steam. It doesn't
That's
go
just
through
on
there
Steam. Although Secret World Legends, that's probably a much more accurate number, closer to actual, because
Yeah,
Steam
maybe.
is the only way to get that, isn't it? I think you
No,
can't.
it's not. No, you can do the launcher.
Can you?
Yeah, you can
have
still
that.
do the launcher. You can still do the launcher, but the Secret World was available on launcher first, and then they added it on
Oh,
Steam,
that's right,
so it
that's
had
right.
smaller Steam
That's right.
numbers.
That's right.
Sure.
But then, since Secret World Legends was a complete, more people, I think,
Yeah,
just
I
went
think
ahead and
I
went,
think
screw
this.
it, Steam's fine.
Yeah, I think the Steam number for Secret World Legends is probably more closer to the full audience size. I don't know about Age of Conan. I mean, that's been launcher for a long time before it was on Steam. So, but yeah, it's just fine. Age of Conan, if they have the audience to support this type of content and development and time and spend and everything, that's great. But then where is it for Secret World Legends, Q? I mean, you can't...
All their Secret World content is going into single player games.
Yeah.
That's there. I
into
don't
little
know if maybe
offshoot games.
Yeah, and I think maybe what they did, because the original the big three originals that designed the story and everything for the Secret World, they're all gone.
Yeah.
With the South Africa update, the last update that Secret World actually really had.
Yeah, the last
right
issue.
Right after that, Joel, and he was the last one. He left. So Ragnar left like right after the original game launched.
Yeah.
And went and started Red Thread. And then Joel was the last one to carry on the story. And then he left. So I guess they just went, well, it'll just be easier to do all these little individual spin-offs in the same universe. And that be it. That's the only thing I can think at this point.
It's really sad for me to see, because that was an out-of-the-box MMO. It went an entirely different direction. I would say about 70% of it they got right or were in the process of getting right. Combat was a huge 15% of the miss for me. But it was doing so many interesting things, Jason, that to see something like that just kind of peter out and like not even... I don't even really think it had a prayer, and that's sad because I think it did so much that there should be other games changing and doing different things, like just stealing certain things from it, and you just don't see it.
Did you see how the financials went? No one's going to do different things when you see how that went.
Yeah. I mean, how can you argue? It's unfortunate.
It nearly destroyed the company, basically. Secret World did.
Yeah. Oh, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Love Secret World, but hey, Q, have you played in a long time? I mean, there's really no reason to if you're not one of those hardcore, we're making our own game community people.
Yeah, I haven't, just because I've played all the story content all the way through, and the one person that I did play with went off to play other stuff, so it just kind of... And then, of course, I haven't really played any MMOs since I've been here.
Well, now you have a monitor,
so... Well, I've got 2 monitors now. Oh, you're talking about his monitor. Yeah. But the big issue has been the internet, because this is my internet.
Gotcha.
Right now, this is my internet. So at sometime this month or next month, I'll have real internet, and I can actually get in there and play games again like I'm supposed to.
You're doing social distancing online. Good job.
I've not been social distancing online. I've been on Twitter all the freaking time.
Hey, none of your MMO avatars have been within 6 feet of another MMO avatar.
No.
All right, Jason, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to go through this next one, because I'm sure Jason could go for 40 if I let him. He's having a lot of fun with something, and he wants to share it with you, and I think it's kind of cool, too, so I wanted to bring it onto the cast. Jason, what have you been messing with in the free-to-play world lately?
If you've been messing with... I'm playing right now. I'm playing Carcassonne. No, I'm not, actually. But no, yeah, my new addiction is a site called Board Game Arena, which is just boardgamearena.com. And it's kind of what it sounds like. You can play all sorts of different board games. Yeah, they got about 200 selections there. They've got your basic stuff, your checkers, backgammon, even little games like Can't Stop, which is kind of a well-known party game and so forth. And then they have also really complex Euro games, like I talked about Carcassonne. Some of the ones I bring up in the article, like Seven Wonders, Tokaido is another new one that we just started. All sorts of different games, different themes, and so forth. And they've got a really nice interface that allows you to play the games there. A little buggy at times. I think the UI could use a little more cleaning up about picking a game and getting into a game and so forth. But overall, really well done, I think. Because I'd been on a board game site like 10 years ago. I played a little bit on something, and it was really messy and didn't go well, so I didn't stick there. But my nephew got me into this. The same nephew from last week's podcast. So he and his group of friends invited me to play with them. So now every Saturday night we're on this site for like 4 or 5 hours playing all sorts of different games, finding new things. You can play for free, but about 15 or so of the games are premium games, which means you have to have a premium membership to start a table. But once someone starts a table, anyone can join in. You can set up games to play with your friends like we do, or you just randomly go out and try to find the players and play stuff. And it's a lot of fun. They keep like an elo system so you can track how good you're doing. If you have a premium account, you can get stats and so forth. So, yeah, just a lot of fun. Great place to go if you're into all sorts of varying levels of board games.
This program is not sponsored by.
It is not sponsored by a board game arena.
It is not.
Is there any way to simulate throwing the Monopoly board? Because that's really the only way you know the game is done.
That they actually have a karma scoring game. Which you do negative things, like mostly like leave games or whatever while they're in progress, or let your turn timer run out. You will get lower karma. So don't be an ass.
/ flip table.
No, there's no / flip table.
Right?
So yeah, there you go. Check it out if you want to hit some board games or just play some checkers. Just sit there with checkers and your iced tea. What else?
If you're a sad and lonely person, yes.
Yeah. What else do we got? Terra is going to be adding loot box transparency in an update coming up. Supposed to be by the end of the year. Okay. So here's what they're doing with tomorrow's update. This was a couple days ago. So on the 28th, a new update went in. Terra will display odds for the dyeable memorial dress loot box and the various sub boxes. They'll be displayed in game, and you can view them on the website too. So kind of coinciding with the whole ESA thing by the end of the year, Jason. Terra a little bit ahead of things here, displaying their odds. That is apparently no small task, according to them. Tooltip changes may lag behind the content shift due to there being a large number of legacy boxes released over the last 9 years. So
we have so many of these stupid loot boxes. It's going to take a long time to make them, legally viable.
All right, so do you give them kudos here, or do you kind of tell them, yeah, come on, guys, really? I mean, they're moving where they're supposed to go voluntarily, to my knowledge. Nothing's forcing them. Yeah, nothing's forcing them to do this yet. This is a net good, isn't it, Jason?
It is. I mean, I give them as much kudos as you can give anyone who has 9 years worth of loot boxes. The fact that they're actually doing it
and has so many loot boxes that they're like, dude, to fix this text, seriously, I'm gonna need to hire 4 more people. We have so many loot boxes to put the odds in the text. I need 4 people.
We're partially to blame for that, though, because if we weren't spending our money on the damn loot boxes in the first place, they would have been like, you know what, we need to figure out some other way to make money.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. We are not the problem, like the 3 of us. But there is a we that is the problem.
This is the collective we.
The collective we. All right, I guess we're in the collective we, so that counts. All right, so Terra made that change. They're ahead of the game. The ESA's changes for the end of the year. Yay. Good for them. Finally, before we move on, out of rapid fire news, Jason, we are going to get housing in Magic Legends. That's pretty cool, but I mean, you're a planeswalker, so one house just doesn't feel like, powerful planeswalker. What, they got a fucking bungalow? What is it? That doesn't seem like enough, and I think Perfect World agrees.
Yes, you've got a whole realm, and by realm we mean a system of menus.
That's That's a bit jaded, isn't it?
No, not really. No.
It's honest.
Yeah, because it's not going to be like a housing area, like, physical 3D, whatever world where you run around. Now, they do say they have plans to maybe get that going in the future. But for now, your realm is just going to be sort of like where you handle all sorts of out of combat progression systems, where you'll be able to, level up different find new spells. What else can you do? They have two things that they did. One last week and one yesterday. So I'm kind of reading both of them. The main things that you're going to have there are workstations, which are where you're going to do all these different sort of research tasks that will take some time to do. That lets you accumulate mana that you can use to research new spells, upgrade artifacts, a thing that focuses on the cartographer who focuses on late game content. So yeah, this is where your out of combat progression is going to take place. Something other than just getting experience points and whatever drops for items you'll probably find.
Nothing like the dimensions we're used to in Rift, Q.
Or the what hideouts and Path of Exile or any other game that has that kind of stuff. Although I did like with the system of menus, it would in a more techie game, it would be kind of interesting if it was just your character standing there opening up virtual menus and doing the whole.
Yeah.
That is one thing.
You probably are doing that.
That is one thing I've always appreciated. So you guys know I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online lately, and I do love that, like, if you're standing next to Jason and Jason goes into his menu and he's looking at the map, his character actually pulls out a map and looks at it. If he's looking in his inventory, his character sets a bag down on the ground and starts digging through the bag. If he's in the cash shop, he sets a chest in front of him and he's looking at the stuff through the chest. I always appreciate it, and WoW did that too. Like, your character would open the map, right? But I always appreciated stuff like that. I always think that's kind of neat that, like, when you're in a system or in a menu, your character is still doing something related to what you're doing in the world. I always like that type of stuff. I don't know why. It's just the small touches, I guess.
So, but this is actually a realm where your character probably not be in the world.
Yeah. I don't think they have to. I hope they make it something more, because I'm not that I'm a huge
fancy bungalow.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't do a ton of stuff with housing in games anyway, but yeah. So I personally don't care which way they do this, but I always like seeing the options for personal housing and walking around and bringing your friends to your realm, Q, that type of stuff where showing off what you made. And yeah, it's really hard to show off a menu.
Look at my menu.
Look at my sweet menu. All right, so we got this is I don't know what the hell's going on with this anymore. And Jason, I think you're in the same boat, and you've done more research than I, and we're still in the same boat. JAGEX last year, we speculated based on some reports that it was going to be sold to an American company. They kind of quashed that story real quick. They didn't like that story was out there. And then here we are a year later, basically. It is being sold to, well, an American company. Basically the same types of people we talked about a year ago. But all might not be as it seems. It might be as it seems. Let's just say it seems really freaking weird right now.
All right, so the first claim is I am not a financial expert, and I don't know exactly the intricacies of buying and selling and shell companies and this, that, and the other thing. So.
I mean, there's disclaimers that a lot of what we're going to talk about here is speculation. Like, this is all, like, alleged and speculative at this point. Go ahead, Jason.
Now, what's not speculated is that officially JAGEX has been sold from the Chinese company that owned it, Shanghai Fukong Interactive, sold it to Platinum Fortune, not equity, sold to Platinum Fortune, which is a fund managed by global asset management company MacArthur Fortune Holding LLC, and the sale price is $530 million.
That part is fact.
Yes, that is what has been reported.
Where we get into speculation is that Platinum seems to have kind of come out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually incorporated around, I think I looked at them around last year, like around the time these initial reports were coming out in 2019, like around April or May. And yeah, exactly it is that they came out of nowhere. And there's one guy, and obviously a guy on Reddit, whatever, but This is someone who says he's works in mergers and acquisitions, so he kind of has knowledge of this sort of thing. And he thinks it's a little interesting that there's virtually nothing out there, especially considering the size of this deal, $500 million.
Yeah.
So he says that he gets the impression that these acquirers, whilst incorporated in the U.S., may just be a subsidiary of a Chinese company. And that's what a lot of people, various other people were saying the same thing. People who were able to dig up a little bit more info thought that this company, Platinum Fortune, and maybe MacArthur in general, are actually owned by Shanghai Fudong or whatever the other name of the company is that they've thrown out there, or whatever, Hongtown Network, whatever. Yeah, so the belief that they have is that it really hasn't changed hands at all. It's just been shifted around. One person, again, speculated that some of this has been done just in case of something bad overall happening to the Chinese economy, which, granted, maybe more of an issue now with the whole COVID-19 situation, but the fact that this was kind of set in motion,
right,
last year doesn't really relate to that. But
what did they anticipate 6 months ago, 8 months ago, happening to the Chinese economy that would have triggered this? And that's kind of where I am with the speculation, guys. It's when you do stuff like this, follow the money and find the benefit. All right, well, we know where the money is, and we know how much the money is. So let's figure out the benefit. What is the freaking benefit? If you are Tencent and you sell Activision Blizzard, to Riot.
Oh, but Tencent owns Riot. Too,
yeah, no, that's my whole thing. But that's my whole point. But I have to addend this a little bit and say that it's not publicly known that Tencent owns Riot. That part is important.
In your fictional universe.
In my fictional universe, Tencent still owns Riot, but it's not publicly known. So, what is the benefit to me as Tencent? Okay, I sold one company. Now it looks like it's under an American company's leadership in Riot, but really I own them too. Just people don't happen to know that, or I've been secretive about that, or I've hidden the fact that I own Riot. What is the net benefit? I don't get it.
Especially when you consider JAGEX is actually British. That's where the company is located. So it's not like America, whatever, but...
Yeah, okay, does it make it more appealing to potential investors in JAGEX properties that they're dealing with an American company versus a Chinese company? Does that factor into it? I don't know in the world of gaming how much a big deal that is anymore. Maybe it still is in some circles, but I don't know.
Don't we just kind of assume that Tencent or some other Chinese company owns half of every video game company in existence at this point?
Yeah, it's all very, very weird. At the end of the day, for JAGEX game players, they all kind of have the same mentality right now, Jason. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the things we wanted to get better, nothing's going to change. Whether they think it's under the same ownership or not, the net for players is this probably isn't going to change a whole lot.
Probably not, no.
It's very weird. Jason, you're keeping an eye on this one. Let us know if something
best
else...
I can.
Yeah, let us know if something comes of it, but it just seems very weird to me. And if you have speculation you want to throw in your comments, go ahead and put it down there below. I probably will not...
We'll report on this news.
Yeah, no, I probably will not read some of them on the Free Play Cast if they get too rambunctious. Yeah. It is the internet. All right, before we head over to the weekly bombs here, let's talk a little bit about Valorant. Jason, you did your first look. Q, I know this one isn't for you, so you're not going to have too much to say here. So we'll have you go first. What did you like? If you liked anything, was there anything about this that made you want to play a game that you generally don't play? I will say that when I first saw it, I was like, Q might have a better time with this. It is third person.
Well, there is that. There's also, I appreciated that apparently the matchmaking was good enough to put Jason in there with people that were just as bad as he was. Because that's one of the reasons I won't play group shooter games. I'm terrible at them, and I do not want to be the person who brings everybody else down. So if they compare me with people that are just as bad as I am, I'd be cool with that. I like generally the way it looked and the abilities. Some of the abilities looked really cool. in general. And I was just incredibly amused that Jason's group, people just kept managing to sneak up behind them.
Like
When I
Jason,
snuck up behind them once.
Like, I was just like, okay, y'all are like, oh, here's a wall and here's this thing, and now we've corralled you. Like,
Jason, did I misspeak here on the third person thing? I thought you could play the game in third person, and I just after I said it, I started looking it up, and I don't think you can actually.
No, it's not.
I mean,
okay,
I know,
so that would put me out.
yeah, I know first person is primary, but I thought there was an option, but apparently what I had saw was just like a preview of maybe a potential spectator mode in the future, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is something that if it becomes esporty,
My
I
apologies.
would probably sit and watch.
This one, so I don't like Overwatch. I've played it here and there. I'm just not generally a fan. I'm not a huge CS:GO guy. You guys know I'm not twitchy, shootery based, so Unreal and stuff like that really isn't for me. I like the more strategic stuff. And Jason, you and I were chatting. I felt like watching your first look and seeing some other videos on the game, I felt like this might have a better shot with me than a lot of the other things on the market right now because it is a bit slower, not slower in, skill level. Not let's dumb this down and slow it down so the common man can play it instead of, making it an esport. It's just more tactical, I think is probably a better word than slower. Which does make the rounds seem a little slower. That might be for me. I do enjoy shooters, but just not generally good at, the fast-paced, twitchy ones. This might do it for me. I am going to play this a little bit after watching your first look, because it does intrigue me on maybe this is a little more my cup of tea when it comes to a competitive shooter. It's why I like things like certain modes in Destiny, like Countdown and stuff like that. They were a bit more strategic in how they played, and I could play those modes for hours, so this might fit that bill for me. I don't know. Haven't played it yet. I'll give you a review on that later. But generally, I kind of liked where some of the things were going watching your first look video. The only thing that just from your first look video, the biggest gripe I have is the matches seem, for me, way too long. Way too long. You had a match on your first look video that I think went to, 13-4? Or something like that.
5. We had 5.
13-5 was the final score. That match took just under 30 minutes. And while those individual rounds aren't long, that is 30 minutes of just one match. And you said you had a match prior to that wasn't recorded for the footage as you were setting up and learning the game and everything, that was 40 minutes long.
Yeah, it was a 13-10 match. So yeah,
maybe it goes faster when you have like competitive E-level sports players, right? Because they're zipping around, they know exactly what they're doing, and those rounds, they just clip by, and a whole round is 10 minutes. Maybe, I don't know. But it just seemed like for your average player, this might be too long for me.
I mean, I don't think it would, because you still have, whatever, the time spent in the setup phase, whatever, that's not going to change. And then people aren't going to run out in the middle of everything and kill everything. It's, as you can see, we spent a lot of time peeking around corners and sort of just crawling through corridors. That's probably what you'd still want to do in a competitive match. But yeah, it's like people have said this is, it's CSGO meets Valorant or meets Overwatch. My feeling is it's about 80% CSGO. With just a tiny hint of Overwatchy type stuff.
With Overwatch abilities sprinkled on top.
Yeah, because they're very limited. And that was the promise of it. They said the gunplay is the primary part of it. The abilities are just a little extra spice. They don't last that long for the most part. You have a limited number of times you can use them with your charges and so forth. So, yeah, it is very much more in a CS:GO kind of feel to it. And CS:GO, what does CS:GO have? 25 rounds, alternate after 13 or 12 or whatever, attack, defend. So Riot just couldn't do something different. They had to keep it to 25. Could have done 15, I think. I think that would have been still good enough and would have gotten you enough variety in the match. But yeah, as I said, that's the thing that gets me. When I get to like around 15 or 20, I'm like, again, the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
But then you look at League of Legends. Yeah, they've basically used the same map for 10 years with matches that'll go 30, 40, 45 minutes, and people still play the shit out of it. So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And I'm definitely going to get some hands-on time with it now that I've seen your first look. It is something, before I was just kind of mildly interested in it. Seeing your first look, it actually made me personally more interested in it. Because
because I'm such a good player, because I'm around 16.
Yeah, your double kill. Your sneak up behind the back double kill, fireball, bang, bang. It was great.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the first look.
Just skipped around 16.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know if you know this, Jason. Let me grab it.
Oh god, there's a comment. Oh dear.
Yeah. So Ryan says, I absolutely love watching Jason Winter play video games. Me and my wife watch and laugh and genuinely feel we're right there with him. His supremely optimistic attitude and high morale make him an asset to any team willing to wait for him to learn the ropes.
Look, it's my 4th game, all right?
Keep up the entertaining good attitude streams, bud.
And Ryan, you can find me on twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
There you go.
Watch me try to figure out how to do my traffic in City Skylines.
So, yeah, I am going to check it out. You made me more interested now seeing some of it, because I was really just avoiding watching. I was like, I'm not going to participate in these stream counts. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it.
Stuff, yeah.
So now I was like, all right, I'll give the view to MMO Bomb and Jason, then watch it. I'm like, okay, all right, shut up. I might try it. And I am definitely going to try it. I'll probably stream it next week on Twitch. We've been streaming there Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern in the afternoon. We usually go for anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours. We'll be finishing some Guild Wars 2 today. And then next week, we'll roll into some other things, including possibly some Valorant. So let's check.
I guess I'll keep it installed for a little longer then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want, here's your worldwide non-expiring invitation, Jason, since you were giving me a hard time yesterday.
Oh, the issue, I didn't even know you were doing Guild Wars 2 yesterday until you announced the stream. So that was the issue.
You are never not welcome to jump in on the damn stream, whether it's in chat or on the game we're playing. Today will be Guild Wars 2 again. We'll be moving that necro forward, although I streamed Elder Scrolls last night on my own channel. You can do that too, twitch.tv/magicman. Same spelling, just no one. MAGICKMANN. So I didn't do any research on the necro build, so I'll still be running around with an axe and shit. But whatever, we'll have fun.
At least you equipped your offhand weapon. Good job.
Yes. So thumbs up or thumbs down for you, Jason? You and I will just have to sit this one out because we haven't played it yet.
In terms of the game, I guess I give it a thumbs up. But in terms of whether I'm going to play it to any great extent, I give it a thumbs down. It's just not for me.
All right.
It takes too long. I'm too addicted to the sugar rush or something like Overwatch, I guess, is part of it.
Well, and you have the Party Royale map coming. Let's slide over and do the weekly bombs. Jason just wants to skydive.
Yeah.
Jason, you're up first. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we did a game page this last week for a game called Supremacy 1914. So in the video, in the intro video, yeah, you see this little bit of newspaper thing that goes by. Now it's Supremacy 1914, which is 1914 is based on World War I. But if you look at the date on this fake newspaper they have there, it says October 8th, 1940. And if you look on the left, formal declaration of war, London, October 8th. There was no declaration of war in World War I on October 8th. It's really not, World War I did not run until 1940. So this newspaper gets an A-bomb for that element. However, the baseball scores, the baseball info they have there, Reds beat Tigers 2-1, on the right, Newsom edged by Derringer. That actually was a World Series game played on October 8th, 1940. So I give them a dub-bomb for the accuracy of that. So a dual A-bomb, dub-bomb to this one shot from a fake newspaper in a video game.
Was it on a Tuesday?
Yes, it was.
It was? All right.
Indeed it was. It was Tuesday, October 8th.
So then let me ask, did they use this for one of their other titles and just kind of repurpose the headline? Is that what happened?
I looked at the trailer on their World War II game.
Because they do have a World War II game.
Yeah, I didn't see it anywhere in the trailer. So I don't know. I don't know why it's screwy like this.
Oh, PR is fun. PR is fun. Q, you're up.
I actually have a bomb for Humble Bundle because right now they've got, and this is one of my favorite things, an entire Walking Dead thing, like 32 volumes. That's volumes, not issues, right? So the bigger things, and plus 2 additional volumes for $18 on ebook. They're ebooks, obviously, but still, if you don't have all of the Walking Dead stuff and you want to get it really cheap.
Seems good. I was originally going to give a dub bomb to me hitting level cap on my Ranger on Phantasy Star Online. But instead, I'm going to give an A-bomb to streaming on my own channel last night with the frickin' Animaniacs. I played been playing Elder Scrolls Online quite a bit. Got conned by a crafter the other day, so reported that shit real quick. Zenimax, give me my gold back. But then... yeah, last night I was streaming on my personal YouTube or Twitch, and we were playing Elder Scrolls, and I have a brother and a friend of ours and my son. All 4 of us were in there. My son has played MMOs before, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, that type of stuff, Warframe. My brother and our other friend, not so much, and yeah, they're pretty... one of them's the tank, so that makes things fun, because they have no idea what that means to be a tank and stuff. So yeah, check out the stream if you get a chance. It's usually in the evenings that we're planning to stream. It is like literally playing MMOs with the Animaniacs. Nobody can stay focused. Nobody knows what they're doing. And at some point, one of them will get lost and come running over the hill to the group with 15 things running behind them. It's a mess. And I'm the healer, so life is stressful. So
Now I just got the Animaniacs theme in my head.
I've had it for like the last half
like
hour.
I'm just sitting here.
About this, yeah. Zany to the max.
From the viewers, Breckner Catalan says, dub bomb to Steam sales, got Dragon's Dogma for €9. Such an amazing game. I really hope they release a second title in this series. That is a great game. That is absolutely a great game. Go ahead, Jason.
Kirito PT, who I should say shows up in your streams all the time, and there's no space in his stream name, so it's nice that I can now actually see what the... I've been wondering, is it Kirit Opt? Is it Kirito Topt? But no, okay, now it's Kirito PT. I gotcha. Okay. They say, dub bomb to Twitch chat for the fact of guessing all of Mike's games before watching this, and a dub bomb to no green Q for 2 straight weeks. Now 3.
No.
Now 3.
Maybe.
We're not done yet.
Time.
We're not done yet. Go ahead, Q.
Misfit Rain, the bomb to Fallout 76. Short explanation. I'm single at the moment. Most of my friends are married or in a relationship. At times I feel like I would like to have someone in my life. Then my friends talk to me about problems, or I am there when they disagree with each other. Then I remember why I'm single. Thank you, Fallout 76, for being that friend that talks me out of playing again when I feel like giving it another chance.
So he'd rather exist in an apocalypse in what's considered a broken game by a lot of people than be in a relationship.
Right. Ninja Panda is also a constant stream viewer on the MMO Bomb 1. 2 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. Get your ass there. A dub bomb for constant pink bears on PSO2. Yeah, from the Arkuma slots machine. The pink bears frickin' love us. But they don't help us if you get them more than once. Go ahead, Jason.
Yamikami says, I think NPCs that steal your stuff is a very good game mechanic. It does simulate real people like never before.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't argue with it. I kind of want to play an MMO now where it's like you never know what NPCs to trust now or not.
The issue is the problem in Fallout 76 is you can't kill those NPCs.
Right.
Take their stuff back. So
it's
you
just
can do that in real life.
It's just gone. Yeah, disclaimer, we are not advocating you go out and kill people. Thank you.
No.
Q, go ahead.
Ryan Forecast. The only game anyone needs on Steam is Bad Rats. With a little heart with it. One pop of that gnarly piece of booty, and you'll forget the word backlog even existed.
Have any of you played Bad Rats, the puzzle game?
I have
never
not
heard of it.
I was going to go look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's like $2 or $3 if you haven't played it. It's worth... Ryan's not wrong. It is worth... Okay. It was worth giving a look if you have $2 or $3 to throw at it.
It's only 99 cents, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Oh,
that's
okay. Well,
a bargain at twice the price. Question of the week last week. How bad is your Steam backlog? RS Jabber says, question of the week, how many games? Almost 600. How big is the backlog? 0. Because I don't feel like I'm obligated to play them. I I simply collect them. See, RS Jabber, if you were talking about physical releases, I would be right there with you. Like, there are certain games, like
You are right there with him.
I buy a
Looking at
collector's
boxes,
set.
Star, yeah.
Like, I buy a collector's set or something that I have no intention of playing. I just want the collector's set, or maybe I'll get to it and stuff like that. I can't do that on the digital side. I don't.
Yeah. Collecting digital games, that doesn't seem like a thing. But.
Go ahead, Jason.
Japan's Freaks is question of the week. I guess it's not that bad. 187, 82 installed.
177.
177, yeah, okay. So yeah,
that's not too bad. That's not too shabby. Go ahead, Q.
Can you just remember though, I mean, I think back to maybe not that long, like even 15, 20 years. Can you imagine having 177 video games?
Yeah, like
Like my
cartridges.
entire PlayStation collection was like maybe 20. Like I've had my PlayStation collection is right down there. I can look at it. I've got like 20 games.
No,
PS1.
I remember, playing a game, taking it, trading it in, getting another game.
Yeah. Probably a few of those, yeah, I probably would have a few games, but yeah.
Go ahead,
A
Q.
game a month. Bregner Kettlein. Funnily enough, I also have 90 in my Steam library, most of them free to play. I am now only buying games that are on deep sales, 75% or higher discounts. So I've got a few older titles in the last few months.
Nice.
Did I write that comment? Because that sounds exactly like me. Number of games, only buying deep discounts.
So this is you undercover?
Breckner Catalan is my burner account.
Only introduced grammatical errors to throw us off the trail of it being you is what it was.
Yeah.
Zit Zahura says Steam
Kit,
says
Kit, not Zit.
Kit Zahura. My apologies, Zit. Kit. Steam says I have 202.
Is that like a Zista?
Yeah. Steam says I have 202, but my list only shows 87. I'm guessing it's more of the DLC and add-ons and things as far as backlog. I haven't played any Steam games in almost a year, and only 5 currently installed. Kit is by far winning the largest margin between owned and installed. Go ahead, Jason.
Rigery says, question of the week, games, 360. How many am I actually playing? 3. Warframe, Smite, and Neverwinter. Just got back into it since launch. How many have I played with the 360? All of them at least once. To be honest, the number inflated because of Humble Bundle.
Yep.
But I do have a handful of them installed just in case the internet drops. So it's something to do other than look at the can't connect to Steam site, or Steam site can't be reached. Check your internet connection screen.
Yep.
I sort of know what he was saying.
Yeah, Q, and I have Q. You mentioned that last week. How do you not have more just from Humble Bundles?
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Q.
Slayer Master PWI. A-bomb to myself because I didn't know you were asking what games we're playing a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, and A-bomb to me for putting that in the wrong section of the show notes.
Well, it's there now, and it's red.
It's gonna stay. Hellcat M. I played Elder Scrolls Online when it was free for weeks and enjoyed it. The thing is, unless you sub, the game makes it difficult because of how little storage you get, so I didn't buy the game because the storage situation was pissing me off. I really didn't play any specific MMO enough to sub, maybe 1 to 2 every week or so. Last week, week after last sale, I found out you can buy bags with gold, so maybe next sale I'll try it. We'll try Phantasy Star Online and see how I like that. Apparently, I clipped these 2 comments in the wrong spot. That's fine. Yeah, so initially, Jason, it was just kind of like, okay, the craft bag was nice to have as part of the sub, even though it was slimy that they put it there. Now that I'm much further and I'm doing crafting and shit, that would be a tremendous hamstringing if I did not have a sub. It would be a tremendous hamstringing if I didn't sub. I really don't like that. And what's the shame of it is that their sub package is good enough to be sold on its own without that. With all the DLC that you get more crowns than you actually would get if you just bought $15 worth of crowns. I mean, it's a decent sub that could survive on its own. It doesn't need that craft bag there. The craft bag should just be given to everybody. Go ahead, Jason.
Lord Thorverisk says, question of the week, honestly, as bad as I feel about it, not as terrible as other people here. 201 games that I maybe played half of them, finished about 20%. So nobody, okay, I guess RS Jabber had the most. He had about 600. I figured we'd have someone like in the 500 plus range. but otherwise not too bad for people.
Well, you skipped one here, so we'll go.
I was about to say.
Yeah, so we'll go to Q to read the last one, and
okay, you're right. I totally skipped.
And
okay,
the numbers,
fine.
the numbers are about to get worse.
All right.
All right, Russ Love. Well, my sickness has taken me to 308 games on Steam. I have not played all of them, and at this point, I only have 31 games installed. I've been playing a lot of the sandbox survival games like 7 Days to Die, Space Engineers, No Man's Sky, and they jump over to Final Fantasy XIV or Black Desert Online occasionally. And now my daughter and her boyfriend sucked me back into playing WoW after 7 or so years, which is a lot different from back when I played what they call classic WoW now, but not when I played it. It was just WoW.
So that's a 10% install rate. 308.
I say too, a lot of people who are talking about this, they say, and this is an issue with almost all games nowadays. They play 7 Days to Die or WoW or what was it? Someone else was talking about Final Fantasy 14 or all these games that don't have an end. They want you to play forever, so you can't get to the next game on your list.
The hilarious thing, that was all the same guy.
Yeah,
it was all the same
well,
person.
someone else was talking about stuff too, but I mean that's the same thing like I talked about last week. I'm getting through these single player RPGs so I can knock them off and not have to worry about them anymore.
And I just keep playing games as live services, so I never. Question of the week this week: when you see a new game on the horizon, something like a Valorant or a New World or something down the line here, when you see something on the horizon that interests you, do you hope it will be free to play, or do you hope it won't be free to play? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget to give us your weekly bombs. D-bomb for something good, A-bomb for something bad in the world of gaming or just life in general. And feel free to leave any questions or comments you have for the panel, and we'll read them on next week's show. Until then, Q, where can everybody find you?
Hanging out on Twitter at Quintland.
Jason.
On Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there on Twitter at magicman1 and at twitch.tv/magicman. That same spelling, no one. We'll be streaming Elder Scrolls Online and things like that with the Animaniacs. But don't forget to stop by twitch.tv/MMOBomb Monday through Friday. We're streaming at 2 o'clock, a different free-to-play game every week. Sometimes we do a couple days in a row of the same game if we're making some progress. We really hope you join us. Hope to see you. Until next time, gang, stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.